I'm not ready. I just moved the mic over.
I'm not ready.
I'm not ready. I'm not. All right.
I pressed the button after you said I'm not ready the first time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No, I know. I felt it.
Yeah.
There's a little electric shock goes through my brain every time that turns on, and it
really?
shuts off all my worst thoughts so that I don't say bad things.
Can you hear it click on? Because I can't. There's no way I can now.
No, I can't hear it click on.
Oh.
It doesn't click on. I just said there is an extra sensory perception thing going on that I know it turns on because I'm like, oh, if I say, all of a sudden I get this feeling that if I say certain things, I'll get in a lot of trouble. It's just a fear comes over me that I know that the broadcaster has been turned on.
That sounds like a feat. We're not starting out with those. That comes at 4th level, dude.
Yeah, well, we're about to play. We're about to be back in Featsville, baby.
That's true. Yeah.
With 4th.
What were feats? I forget what feats were in that edition.
In 4th?
Yeah.
There was a shitload of them. There was just no feat
yeah.
trees.
There were some very limited ones, like like it was
Cleave.
a chain of 2 or 3
Power attack, cleave type shit. Yeah,
but it wasn't like 3.5 levels.
Yeah,
no.
but did a feat give you like a written static effect, or did it give you some powers associated with it?
Yeah.
Usually a static effect, because there was the one that people would usually always take for a lot of builds was you'd get your improved skill bonus thing, which is like skill focus, whatever it was.
Yeah. Because
there
you
was
were
also
either trained or not, so it was like their way to. It was like their expertise, basically.
Yeah, because you were trained or not, and then there was an additional one that was if it was something you were trained in, you got like an additional +3, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds right. And there's a common 4th edition house rule that you get like a free feat or whatever, because they did try to kind of de-emphasize feats because feat chains were such a huge problem in the balance of the game and stuff.
Yeah.
But then they were still so useful and still so integral that most players are like, well, you went too far. You have all these feats, but now you don't get enough. So you need, it was like a balance. What sucks?
That's really a main staple response for almost every edition since 3rd, which is, dude, just give us the feat. We're going to take it anyway.
Correct. Which I do like what they're going to be doing with the 2024 stuff, because they are fleshing the feats back out because they realized, oh, shoot. But it's interesting because not only have the players realized it, but also like Wizards realize it every time, because, the way the feats worked in 4th edition was a response to how complicated they were in 3rd edition. But then they keep fucking it up. They keep doing it and going, oh, we need less. Oh, we need less. I think how feats worked in 4th edition, how feats work in 5th edition was a direct response to how they worked in 4th edition, which was like, clearly we didn't strip them out enough. I mean, but that still didn't work.
Well, and 4th edition still had like the 2 sets of feats, basically, because you would get, there was general feats for everybody, and there was still class feats, I think.
Class feats and racial feats.
There were still
yes.
Oh, man.
I think there were still
There were
class
tables
feats.
and tables of them. There was shitloads
because
of them.
I thought racial feats were sort of, they were part of the general feat list, but like you could only get them.
They had prerequisites. Because, they were, yes, you are right. But there's feat lists in PHB 1, 2, and 3, and then in every one of the powers books.
Right.
So Martial Power 1 and 2, Arcane Power, Primal Power, Divine Power. So there was like literally like 8 or 9 2-page feat lists in 4th edition.
You guys are giving me a feat fetish.
Fetish, yeah. Feet fetish. Feet
Really,
fetish.
man, feats are the way that you express, like you pick a role for D&D. Whatever your class was in 4th edition or 3rd or whatnot, you pick that class, you do what the class does. But feats is mostly a player's a decisionary approach to how they want to interact with mechanics.
Right.
Yeah. Because a class is very prescriptive, and that might be your babby's first. This is how I want to interact with mechanics, but you're not under the hood at all.
Yeah.
You're picking the car you want to drive, but you don't know anything about. As far as you're aware, what's under the hood? It's a magic box.
Yeah.
That just makes things work.
Right.
And then the moment you open the hood, you go, oh, I gotta go look at that feat list, and then it just gets out of control. Which that's why I think I don't know what it is about Wizards constantly trying to just gut feats ever since 3rd edition, but they clearly hate having to deal with them. But you even include them at all, and you reach a certain level of system mastery, and it's immediately like, well, shit, I gotta start dealing with this stuff.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know if now I bet you in the 2024 in 5.5, okay? In 5.5, there's going to be they seem to be trying to they gave up because they seem to be getting a lot more robust.
Right.
Because they're just like, because they have like level limits. Well, I don't know. I guess like, fine, you can have feats, but only exactly when we tell you can have them.
Oh, that's not going to last. I'm telling you. Like, feats are the big old platter of candy right behind that big pane of glass, and players are the little kids with rocks ready to just break it.
Actually,
you are right.
Take them.
I can tell you which one I know. It's like top of my mind. That's like one of the higher level ones. You can't take it at first level. That's gonna people are immediately gonna house roll differently.
What?
Warcaster. They made that one 4th and up exclusively.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, that one is one they decided. Yeah, your character just needs to have some experience doing this adventuring shit before they can figure out how to hold 2 things and cast spells at the same time.
I think they divided it into tiers of play, kind of like how they did with 4th edition.
Yeah, which makes more sense. But like, it's so funny. It's like, how do I hold 2 things?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's. Yeah, well, and I know that the big reason they're revamping because I do believe them when they say they're not really significantly altering how the game works, and it's all going to be compatible with stuff. They're just making sure that they could program the game into a virtual tabletop.
Yeah,
that's what they're doubling down on the online and digital stuff, and that necessitates them to have a rule set that can be better, done that way. Because what's so cool about 5th edition is that it is like, especially if you just take like the SRD,
right?
Like when it first started, the CCBY SRD, it is like so fucking simple. It is like bare bones, especially if you do like what I do. Like I'll run an OSR game and it's like you're limited to the 4 core classes, humans only, and then maybe a truncated spell list like what they have in just running the basic rules that they provide. Basically, it is like, damn. You can do a lot with this. This is a really good framework. No way could you program how good that is. How the things that make bare bone or basic D&D 5th edition good is not programmable. So they're like, well, fuck, we need to make it programmable. So
right, which is Return to 4th, right? That's the most programmable edition.
That's how we ended it last time. Just returning to the correct edition.
Return to the 4th,
the true edition.
Well, because I was going on this some insipid, stupid online argument the other day, or comment, whatever. Basically,
any online argument.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was participating online, which is a mistake, and you should never do it. But
oh man, you actually touched that stuff?
Yeah. But no, I was basically saying about how 4th edition is like, obviously, 1st and 2nd edition are basically one line. 2nd edition after they introduced kits, 3rd edition 3.5 and 5e are one line, and 4th edition is its own thing, basically like its own separate design philosophy.
It is mostly because they were just trying to ape MMOs,
right? But also it also sort of turned back into the original, like the wargaming. It
was a skirmish game.
It's a skirmish game, not a role playing game.
No, that was because didn't 4th edition have? Yeah, that had its own miniature get battle set still. That's one of the things they completely just discontinued with 5th. They're like, immediately, if I remember when it started, you couldn't even buy minis. They took a while before they even decided okay, through Nolzur's Pigments, we'll start putting out some miniatures.
The 4th edition minis were awesome.
They were fantastic.
They were really good.
Oh my god.
Well, they had to be.
And this one, Wizards never made a fucking Frostmaiden mini. Never, the main thing of one campaign. There's never
fucking. That's so ridiculous. Huh. I think what makes 4th edition, even though I do agree that 4th edition's design philosophy is completely different from the rest of the games.
Right.
You can make an argument that each edition, and even the if you go from 1 to 2 to 2.5, you could argue that the design philosophy is different between all of them because they all have different design goals.
Right.
The 4th edition's design goal is so different, and yet it is the pinnacle of D&D's design because it's all right, this is a heroic skirmish game, which is what everyone's been treating the game like since AD&D.
Yeah.
Right.
You could say, and I mean, it never really had, D&D's never really had an identity. People have kind of given the heroic fantasy kind of, like namesake to it because that's, the books they were reading and that was the popular media at the time.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not even a role-playing game. I get fucking in arguments all the time with some people in particular about how it's like, they're like, oh, there's role-playing mechanics in D&D. And I'm like, never once in literally any edition has there been role-playing mechanics. The only time is like 5th edition, and it's tacked on. It doesn't fucking matter at all. Most people you get inspiration at the beginning of the session anyway. There is no, like, narrativist mechanics in D&D.
Oh, you're talking about, there's like the meta level of feedback with roleplay.
Yeah, you can roleplay with D&D because we can also roleplay with nothing.
Yeah.
We can also roleplay with a pair of dice. That is independent of the game. But my point being is that it's never really had an identity because like, OD&D was like being like, oh, well, we wanted to play fantasy war games, but we want to have our own heroes and see them grow. So it was in service of that war game. AD&D was a tournament dungeon crawler. 2nd edition was just a fucking IP churner. 3rd edition, was
superheroes.
Yeah, it was super heroic, and like it's just 4th edition is really the only time when the identity of the game coalesced. It's like, all right, this is a heroic fantasy skirmish game. There are no narrativist mechanics in here. That's it. What you have is what you get, and that's how everyone treated it. And that's what made a lot of people hate it, because it actually for once had an identity, not whatever people were impressing upon the game. Because what most people use the game for, I already said this, but what most people use the game for is completely against whatever it was designed to do, which I think is a boon. I think it's cool that people can use it whatever they want it for, but it is kind of hypocritical that it's like, the moment it can, Dungeons and Dragons like stands up for itself and like, gets up, everyone's like, you suck.
4th edition was, I think it's sort of the hardest to build your own content for.
Yeah, there's that aspect. I
think.
Is it?
I mean, they came out with kits. That's the thing is, I remember I ran my own adventures and stuff, but I always ran it by mixing parts of whatever the Living Forgotten Realms stuff they had going on was with books, parts of Dungeon Delve, or just coming up with entire story sections built around like special items and Adventures Vault and stuff.
Yeah,
because like the items alone, that'd be interesting enough to kind of run a whole session of adventure for.
But I think the opposite. I think that it's positive, because if you want to design your own thing, you're like, all right, I want to design it like Dungeon Delve, 5-root dungeon, cool. This item from the Adventurers Vault is sick. I want that to be at the end. Here's what do I want? I want it to be a heavy brawler like Guardian. All right, here's the template I can use. I like this guy. I like this ogre. I want to be like an ogre. What if I switch these powers out? Yeah. The math calculates up. Bing, bang, boom. And then you have your dungeon.
No,
I'll throw down some dungeon tiles.
100%.
Mix up some dungeon tiles.
100%. It was the most modular, easy to run game. I'm talking about what people try to do with D&D and what they've always done with D&D. Try to make it something different. It happens all the time when I hear about people's 5th edition games. How they're running a Pokemon game or like a Harry Potter game and some stuff. That's because 5th
I want to kill myself. Every time I hear that, I have a call of the void
5th
urge.
is written in a certain way. It's written so simply at first glance that it almost invites you to go, you could do anything. And you have to play it long enough to go, oh, you really can't, because if you start not using the cookie cutter, the dough really doesn't hold together very well.
Yeah.
Fourth edition was resistant to that. Because immediately just going into the books, there was so much it threw at you that, and with how it was structured, trying to go, okay, I'm gonna run a Avatar Last Airbender game in this. What do? I have to limit it to just anything that does elementalist powers, but the thing is, benders would work one way, but then the fighters are going to work the same way, so how do they feel any different? Because it's all power-based.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what made 4th edition so good, so sexy.
Yeah.
Fought back.
People just fucking had to play D&D. You're right. It was like, it was the definitive, if you want to play, this is the identity, which is what pissed people off.
It was the best designed edition, which is why everyone fucking hated it.
Yeah.
And looking back on it, and there's, I don't know if you guys have seen, like, it'll be on TG, it'll be on YouTube, people talk about 4th edition in retrospect and being like, man, we didn't know how good we had it. Oh man, that was great. And I am like, it takes all my energy not to just like go on fucking eBay and spend thousands of dollars just getting everything again because of what I just described. I know that making a dungeon now, maybe I didn't know what to do with it then, but now, oh my God, it'd be so fucking easy to make something rad. You just throw all the numbers together, mix up some dungeon tiles, pick some items and shit. Like, and you can, just by copying stuff from the books, you can make something good. It's not like with pretty much any other edition, you could copy stuff, but you had to change so much because it was so clearly rooted in, but everything was so modular, as you said, and interchangeable. How could someone tell whether you stole something?
Because I looked at the monster manual, and I wouldn't even have to go, I need a thing that's in lore and fits well with what I'm running. No, you just go, I need a bruiser. Find me a badass stat block. Right. That one works. Okay.
Bring me a stat block.
This one does a ton of frost damage, but this is just a dude. Well, I mean, guess that'll be surprising. Cool.
Yeah, that's true. You could even could even shoehorn it in and not make it fit, and it could still work.
It's not like that anyone has any powers that can look directly at the stat block until later.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, did any 4th edition classes have that?
Ranger might have. I think Seeker definitely did.
I think it was ask about one thing on the stat block.
Right. Yeah.
Because I remember that happening and me being like, whoa. That's a real reaction. Actual authentic reaction.
You want to know something about this enemy?
Yeah.
Rocks fall, you die.
Hey, check out this cool build.
No, I didn't realize that. I mean, Seeker, I know, was one of the ones you were always trying to build something with.
I played Seeker. I loved it.
Identity. Yeah.
I didn't get to play my main Seeker for very long. Oh, I kind of did. I think he was my longest Living Forgotten Realms character. I think he got to like 7 or 8. I had a fucking like ant and everything that I rode around in as I was like firing my bow, and it's all wisdom based, so it's like I'm not dexterous. I'm just like I'm much better than you that I can just shoot you in the face. I ruined a whole Living Forgotten Realms adventure setting because like the plot, like pieces, the clues were given, and my character was just in the right position, kind of just listening in the background, and I went, oh, I think I know what's going on. My wisdom's 18. Hey, I think I know what's going on. And they're like, okay, sure, give me your best guess. And then I just said it, and the DM stopped, and he looked and started reading through the pamphlet and went, oh, well, yeah, you're right. So do you want to just skip ahead to the last encounter? Okay.
Fucking pussy. He's supposed to look and go, no, and then make it.
Yeah. Because instead,
never let the players win. Never give them an edge.
Well, it was supposed to be a 4-hour block of play, so it lined up with every other, adventure that day.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Was only like almost 2 hours.
Yeah, honestly, for him, he was probably, because it had to be lined up because it was an official game, he was probably like, I bet. We knocked it out, no problem.
I mean, I think it's even funnier to go look at it, go to the back, see that you're right, and then just go, no, and not change anything.
Yeah.
Literally just lie to you.
Yeah. Literally not change anything.
Yeah. Don't change a thing, just lie.
Yeah, I like that. I also, if there's anything I love GMs doing more than fudging dice, it's lying to my face. I'll talk about. I would do that with 4th edition.
You'd lie to
if it weren't for Burning Wheel. Yeah. No, not lie to your face. I mean that's regardless of what system I'm playing. I'm always lying. I'm a two-faced son of a bitch. But no, I would do that with 4th edition. I'd buy all this shit if I didn't have big plans. But to talk about those big plans, we need to do the plugs really quick. So
plug it in.
Oh right, I should probably also introduce myself again. Second time.
Well, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, I've been in the room this whole time.
I don't even think we had. I don't think we had. We didn't have. I don't think we had you introduce yourself the first time you were on. We didn't have Will introduce himself either. It was just like
funny.
On go. You know, like. Well, so yeah, congrats. I don't even think we've introduced ourselves. I think technically we haven't introduced ourselves. You're the first, so far the only real person on the podcast.
Wow.
That's concerning, actually.
Yeah, you're exposed.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, welcome. Thanks for making time to come out here.
Yeah, to come all the way out here.
All the way 10 feet from my desk.
All the way 10 feet. Yeah. It's
Oh.
Before I completely forget, I'm just going to rattle off this stuff. Donate $6, ask us a question, get called out in the podcast, like in a bad way. Like we call you out. ko-fi.com/wrongroom. That is where you go do that. Then I guess, buy my games or whatever. Bylecosmo.com. BYLE Cosmo.com. Give me your money. Give us your money so we can do things with it. For you. I mean, for you, of course. We invest every cent right back in the podcast.
This is the most low energy plug I've ever heard in my life.
Give us energy so Jimmy can buy the 4th edition books en masse from eBay.
Please buy him a coffee. He obviously needs it.
Clearly. I feel like I do. What would be sick? I've had 4 energy drinks the past 2 days. I'm like all the fuck over the place. So I do need a coffee. Give me your coffee or I'll die or my heart will stop. Feed my rampant addiction. But you know what would be cool I thought of doing? Is just you buy one of the 4th edition products every month, and then we just like we do that, and then we just talk about it on the podcast, how we could use it and how cool it is.
That'd be cool.
It'd be kind of fun.
I mean, I'd start with my favorite one, which is Primal Power.
Primal Power is sick.
Because Wardens for life, man.
Wardens are so fun. Warlords were cool, and they got rid of them.
Dude, 4th edition
Wardens
had
were cool, and they got rid of them.
Had that fucking undead book. Like, that showed you the full anatomy of...
Open Grave, I think
Open
it was.
Grave? Yeah, no, they had, like, that one. The Draconomicon was cool.
Trigonomicons. There were multiple.
Yeah, that's right.
Those were tight as fuck. Any of their setting books, the Beyond the Plains book, whatever.
Oh my god,
that was
that
cool.
one was amazing.
That one was so
I
tight.
love that one so much because it had some of the weirdest, coolest lore that I have ever found.
It was so cool.
If I remember the book correctly, because that's where the qualm came from. I think that book.
I think so.
Yeah, everyone from 3rd edition hated 4th edition, but I played online on Neverwinter Nights, and I would build characters with 4th edition lore. And I'd go out. I'd go out, and people out of character would be like, "Yeah, 4th edition sucks," and then I'd start role playing with them. They'd be like, "Holy shit, where did he get these ideas?
It's canon.
This is the best thing I've ever heard."
Canon.
And I would just be like, "Yeah, I know. My character keeps having dreams of like a whole lot of blue fire at night, consuming everything." And they're like, "Whoa! Like, what are we gonna do to stop this?"
You
and I'm
just
like,
made that
"You're not
up?"
gonna fucking do shit, dude."
That's fucking awesome.
That could be pretty cool, actually. Yeah,
that could be a lot of fun. There's something else about. There is a topic I got to talk about, but I just want to talk about. I could keep wanting to talk about 4th edition. I think it's also the only 0.5 that stands on its own, because AD&D to colloquially like 1.5. That was clearly when TSR started cash grabbing. 2.5, it was even worse.
Right.
So you didn't need any of those. 3.5 could stand on its own, but there's stuff that they didn't port over from 3. Like there's a whole ass monster manual missing.
Right.
So you can't say you could do it on its own. 5.5, I mean, why even bother at this point? It's just a VTT thing. But the Essentials line, if you just had everything from Essentials and onward, it's pretty fucking good. You know what's fucked is that they finished but canceled and then ended up never releasing the Nentir Vale Gazetteer.
Oh, yeah.
It was done! It was done!
It is super funny that setting was just like, oh, here's a generic thing you could maybe use in a potential world.
And it was perfect!
And then they're like, oh, wait, shit, we're expanding it. Everything, this is real now.
It was perfect! Nentir Vale was perfect!
I did, honestly, I really liked the background lore, like oh yeah, Arcosia, Baal Taroth, what fucking cool ancient empires.
Yeah.
In this generic setting that we're trying to not revisit, but oops, everyone, oops, it's actually pretty good.
Oops, we're back. Wasn't Keep on the Shadowfell also in Nentir Vale?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think all the big ones were in Nentir Vale.
I think everything that wasn't explicitly outside of it was basically part of it. Like
I think so.
Matt's whole Ioun adventures were all part of Nentir Vale.
Oh, really?
I think
God, that rules.
there was some like specific Eberron adventures, there were some specific Dark Sun adventures, there were some specific Forgotten Realms adventures, but most things were by default Nentir Vale.
I got it. It was God. 4th edition was perfect. It was perfect.
Yeah.
We had perfection in our hands, and then a bunch of normies had to ruin it.
Although, admittedly, it's
Hang Mike Merles. Find and hang him.
I'm gonna say its monster math was fucked up at first.
Who did?
The 4th edition's Monster Math was fucked up at first.
Oh, it was. I mean, it is.
They fixed it around the same time Essentials happened.
They did fix it with Essentials, which is also why I'm like, the math is perfect, so it's even better with Essentials. But I would also argue the math isn't so fucked up that you can't still have a good time.
I mean, it's better than 5th edition Monster Math. Like,
call out. Oh,
have you? I mean, you've gone through it, right? You go through it, and you're like, oh wow, half of these just don't matter to the players, and half of them are dramatically inappropriate CR for what they're going to be facing. You know, the whole. I mean, honestly, the whole leveling minions with like to be on par with their appropriate, actual serious thing.
Minions were amazing.
Minions.
Yeah.
If someone just ran a 5th edition game around minions, actually, I fucking did. I started a proper way to do a zombie survival game, and then people fucking took it at college and ran it into the most fucking like weird Star Wars. Fucking crazy shit.
I know exactly what you're fucking talking about. I remember revisiting after like literally like a year or two and being like, what is happening?
Well, I mean, you didn't help. You played a centaur that grew even more legs and like fucking it was crazy.
Yeah. No, he wasn't even a centaur. He was just an orc.
Oh my god.
That's worse. I did make it worse. Well, because it started with I started with my Inquisitor guy. And then he died.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, fuck it, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, no, yeah, and then oh, that was good.
So I do have a question to answer from Zwei, but first I want to get through this. So I was looking at our like metrics, and our most listened to episode is 62 listens. Our next most listened to is like 55. And those are all fairly recent. They're like in the past year or so.
Oh.
The Burning Wheel actual play episode is 400 listens, and it keeps climbing.
Oh.
And so this whole time I've been like, we need to do Burning Wheel actual play. We need to do Burning Wheel actual play, which I think would be fun because that was a fun episode to do, and I think that's a very sustainable podcast game.
Yeah.
But I was looking at the stats, and the majority of those views came from Amazon. Because our podcast is up on Amazon Music, which does their podcasting. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. I want to know what's going on. And then my friend Anthony, I was literally today sitting on Discord with him and talking to him, and he was like, maybe it's people searching for Low by Flo Rida. And I'm like, fuck! This whole time, we've been getting hits on that episode. I thought because people liked actual play. No, it's because people are looking up apple bottom jeans because they think they're looking up the track by Flo Rida.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So it's completely a lie. It's a complete farce.
Well, it also might be.
This just
I don't think
proves,
there's that many. So because there's a lot of systems that are not quite as major where there's not really live play because you can play D&D live, and it dime a dozen. There's tons of it out there. If you want to look for something, you're going to hit it super quickly. Burning Wheel, there's not that much of it.
And all of it is lame.
Yeah.
The ones that there are suck.
Legend of the Five Rings, there's nothing, basically.
There's literally nothing,
Yeah. I don't know if there's much Lancer. Probably. I don't know. It's like a reason.
I haven't even looked for
I haven't
Lancer.
looked.
That's a great question, actually.
But I think it's just one of those things where because Burning Wheel is not super huge, if people look for live play, they're going to find that because that's one of the things.
That's also true. But I mean, unless other people are like posting about it, because I don't have posted anywhere. Hey, we did some Burning Wheel actual play.
If it's on, wait, is it on Spotify?
It's on Spotify too. Yeah.
Yeah. Then it's. But
we don't. The word Burning Wheel doesn't even show in the description.
Oh, okay.
It just says this episode contains actual play.
Oh, okay.
Our podcast doesn't even say the word D&D in it. Like in most of the episode titles or in the description, which is kind of on me. I should really be going full
sports?
like metadata.
What kind of category like shuffling you trying to do here? We made the top 50 on beauty? What?
Yeah, of course, because nobody can see us. So hear our voices and don't know we're a bunch of under the rock nerds.
If you didn't delete Matt's section on topic, this would be a history podcast.
This would be a history podcast. It would also be a film podcast if I didn't delete his thoughts on topic. Hey, what are your thoughts on topic?
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see. Man, this beer's gonna kick my ass. All right. So Zwei asks, dream and nightmare blunt rotations if you were running games with celebrities.
What?
Yeah. Like the blunt, like, okay.
Is that a question?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
So who would be the best? Like, think of your dream table has to be populated entirely by celebrities, and your nightmare table populated entirely by celebrities. And we're going to be making blatant assumptions about who these people are, but, that's fine. Who gives a shit?
I feel like Kevin Sorbo features in both, actually.
Oh, really?
No, only the nightmare. But it'd be funny to imagine.
Hercules.
Yeah, Hercules, who is now like a lunatic online.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Hercules, like the cartoon guy?
No, like the live action, the one that eventually spun off into Xena.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
I know Kevin Sorbo sounds familiar. Why can't I think of who the fuck he is?
I mean, now he's like a C-lister, but he used to be more.
Oh,
more than that.
yeah. Yeah, I know that face. I know that face.
I know what you've done.
FDR, American. He was in a movie called FDR, American Badass, and his role was Abraham Lincoln.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was in God's Not Dead. That's where I remember him from. Okay. Mythica, the Darkspore. Oh, yo, we gotta watch this.
Oh my god,
Look
dude!
at
I think
that.
I've seen part of that.
Have you seen part
Like
of that?
that used to be on like fucking sci-fi, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It looks like it was on.
Yeah.
There are 6 Mythica films.
Oh, we got a new saga.
We gotta watch
boys.
all of them. We gotta fucking watch all of them. I'm screen capping that for later.
I mean, I don't know. That reminds me. How many Scorpion King movies have each of you watched?
I think I've seen them all.
I
all
think
of
I've
them?
seen.
I've seen 2.
I've seen the first and the
That's it.
third. I believe you've only seen the second one.
I've only seen 2 of them. So
Oh,
the
2
first
of
one,
them.
and then I think the second one.
Okay. I saw the first one, and then I forget. It was like we were at a Walmart, and I saw Scorpion King 3, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
There was a 2? So I only watched the third one. I'm like, this is ass. God, this is bad. I want to wrap back around to Kevin Sorbo, though.
yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Yes, he was in a Christian propaganda film. But he does appear to be a lead in a bunch of shit B fantasy films. And from what I've seen of his acting, he probably takes it way too seriously. That might put him in the dream rotation.
Yeah, see,
because he's there LARPing his shitty fighter.
Yeah. See, I guess that's why I was sort of saying both dream and nightmare, because like
see.
obviously
It's
as
like
a
a coin
person,
flip.
like nightmare, but like yeah, he'd get into it,
He would.
Yeah.
And you would ask him a question at the table, and he'd look at you and be like, "What are you talking about?" Kaldrak would never do that, and you'd be like, "Shit, dude. All right, fine, fuck." Hey, all right, maybe because I was asking for like good, like, oh, here, have a good table and a bad table. That's like a lot of content,
Right.
How
It's a
about we
lot.
build a table with 4 players who are exactly down the middle? I think
Yeah.
Kevin Sorbo counts here.
Okay.
I think that'll make it. I was gonna say next being Vin Diesel
Oh man,
as
I don't
being
know.
down the middle.
I don't know. I really don't trust how proficient he is with D&D. Actually,
Yeah.
I mean, I was all big and impressed when his original video came out and all the story around. Oh yeah, he plays D&D and you have to work around his schedule and stuff. But I mean, I don't know how serious of a player Vin Diesel is. Vin, I'm calling you. I don't know.
Vin, I'm calling you.
I don't know how many hours you put in. I don't know how much lore you
Mr. Diesel, sir. I
And
am
I
calling
don't
into
blame
question
you.
your
I don't blame you. I
gamer
think
credentials.
I mean the fact that you played D&D while still making movies and then make a movie about D&D that was not about D&D and everyone thought was bad, but I'm like, "Oh, I can tell you cast detect magic right there. That's pretty damn cool." That's a good movie.
That movie and that movie wasn't even bad. It was fantasy film bad.
Yeah.
in
Right.
that they're all bad.
Yeah.
They're all like there's never been a well reviewed fantasy action film that doesn't exist.
Lord of the Rings. But yes,
That's not an action film. that is art. That transcends genre, and you know it. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, it feels actiony enough.
It's an action film.
But yeah, no, I know exactly what you're saying.
Thank you.
All right, yeah. I'm sure the Odyssey would be much better reviewed by fucking critics. Yeah,
yeah, with Brad Pitt as fucking Odysseus.
Odysseus. Yeah. Or I don't know. Maybe look, I'm not Greek.
Yeah, I ain't Greek. Thank God, right? Don't look at me like that.
I ain't no Helen.
I ain't no Helen.
Well,
okay. I think Vin Diesel might be too much like Kevin Sorbo, though. He would take it super seriously and then be like, yeah, but my character would never do that and stuff. But he would just have additional scheduling issues.
okay.
So maybe that's
true.
too much like Kevin Sorbo.
I think it would be. I think you need something counter to Kevin Sorbo. And speaking of Greeks, I think Stavros Halkias would be great at a damn table.
Because
no matter who else you put, he's gonna. If you have conflicting personalities, he's gonna cut through the middle. Bring it.
Look, I think getting the boys to do a game of D&D would be hella tight.
Yeah.
They wouldn't care. It'd be awful, but
all of them's too much. I think just having Stav there, he's great for constantly ripping people out of the immersion enough for him to just whip it right back in.
I'm badass. I ride a pig and have a sword. I ride a war pig and my sword makes people's dicks smaller when I hit them with it.
Because Kevin Sorbo's going to be like, my character's badass and his family was murdered by trolls. And now he's like, so your family's murdered by trolls and what'd you do about it?
yeah. This guy's family got murdered by trolls. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I agree. I completely agree. In a completely non-biased, not because I fucking love that fat bastard, but I would say, is he enough of a celebrity to count?
I think now he definitely is.
I mean, I don't know who that is, so
I mean, that's. But I guess I think Kevin Sorbo is not necessarily.
Oh yeah, he's a C-lister at
He's
best
a C-lister.
Now. Yeah.
I guess if you appear on Joe Rogan, does that immediately make you a C-lister?
I
mean, yeah, at least.
I don't know.
In a way.
I don't know if it's quite that high, but
maybe. Let's. We'll put a pin in that one. I'm wondering because that'll kind of. But I like that. Especially the contrast between someone like Stavros and then someone like Kevin Sorbo would be fucking crazy. They would. It would come. It's something that would come to blows. You know what I mean? It's something that it cancels out because for the table chemistry, it's bad.
Yeah.
But for you as the GM, fucking rules. Yeah. You're like, this is awesome. Like,
I mean, honestly,
no, he's right. He ran his attack. Your character's dick, Kevin, does become smaller.
Yeah. Well, because what's he gonna do? Heckle the GM? Yeah. He understands his role. He's gonna heckle the other players. All that balance is kept over there.
Yeah. It's beautiful. So, okay. We still got Kev Boy.
Yeah.
So, okay, we still got to think of maybe an opposite to David Spade. Just get a comedian that's not funny. That's all you really need to do.
I mean, that's a lot of comedians.
It is a lot of comedians. Because he's funny. David Spade is funny in a way that you just get so exhausted of so quickly. But
yeah,
I don't know. Do we need to go watch do we need to go pick up some issues of People so we can
so we can know celebrities?
So we can know more celebrities.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem is just there's so many to choose from.
Right.
If there were a more truncated list, perhaps.
Well, and none of us really want to choose obvious ones because
yeah, we don't want to choose. Oh boy, the first film in the Mythica series of direct-to-video fantasy films was funded by a Kickstarter campaign that didn't even make $100,000.
Hell yeah.
The budget is not listed.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny.
Kevin Sorbo, who plays one of the roles in the film, said about the project Mythica, a movie like Lord of the Rings where I play someone like Gandalf.
That's good.
The comparison to Lord of the Rings immediately makes it so much better. The fact that everyone else in the cast list has a red name on Wikipedia.
Okay, so let's see. We've got how about category? How about category of celebrity? Because we got an actor,
right.
we got a comedian. I think I want a director on the side, on the outside. Scorsese.
I mean,
Werner Herzog, just because his voice will fucking his voice counters Staub's.
Actually, Werner Herzog would be awesome to sit down. Okay, I can see
Werner,
him
what do you
being-
do? So on my turn, I will take my sword and I will cut off the face of the orc. He's done enough to my family, and he shall know the pain that it is like when you have the rain go across your windshield on a cold summer autumn day.
On one hand, you're bored of listening to him talk, but on the other hand, you're so riveted that in case he says something interesting, you can't stop.
So then what, singers?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a musician.
Werner Herzog would be tight.
I mean,
musician. The Weeknd.
The Weeknd? All right. Yeah.
I mean that's better. I was the sole thing that filled my brain for a second there was Jared Leto, and I'm like, no.
I think he'd be great. I think he'd be a good time. But I think the reason why I think The Weeknd, it has to be right after his TV show failed. The Weeknd. It has to specifically be I'm posting about The Idol on Twitter. The Weeknd. Because it's like, you know, I'm an artist with a cool aesthetic and a bit of edginess to me, but I'm kind of in a vulnerable state right now and might say something out of pocket if someone, you know, makes a snide comment about my show, which the comedian would do. Mm-hmm. Or Werner Herzog would do in being like, I believe that it is a study on the... And it's like, it's nothing what is it all, man. You know? Like, what about an artist?
Like someone that does art?
Art, yeah.
I don't know anyone that does that.
I don't know any
Yeah,
artists.
me neither. But Tish. All right.
Visual static medium is dead.
What about an author?
Oh, God. Well,
You can't. I know.
Chuck Tingle.
yeah.
No.
Chuck Tingle.
No,
Chuck
I know
Tingle.
what you're about to say.
he wouldn't have the scheduling for it, so you can remove him. You can remove him. No, not him. We're talking about Brando Sando.
Brandy Sandy. Honestly,
He's the power gamer.
That'd be
He would be
tight.
the fucking
Yeah,
power gamer of the
absolutely.
table.
Actually, Brandon Sanderson might be the only glue holding the rest of the
Yeah.
table together.
Because
put
Kevin
Brandy
Sorbo's like,
Sandy on
I
there.
wanna kick him and then cast my spell. Can I do that? And Brandon Sanderson's the only one that's like, well, actually, according to the rules, this is how it works, and this is how they're able to do it.
He'd be doing badass stuff, but it'd be completely within the rules.
Yeah.
He would be a power gamer.
He would be
you're right.
fully
Yeah.
a power gamer.
Brandy
all he
Sandy.
does, he would play D&D, I'm sure. He probably has in the past quite a bit, but all he has time to do now is write and play Magic the Gathering. Magic is a main thing.
Does he play Magic?
He's a huge Magic player.
Dude, let's
He's
go.
a huge meta on it Magic player, so you know he's power
plays
gaming the shit.
CEDH. He has enough money to drop for a CEDH deck.
He probably only plays Pathfinder.
Based. Incredibly based.
No, first edition Pathfinder.
Yes. Did I stutter? I honestly, so Kevin Sorbo, Werner Herzog, The Weeknd, Brandy Sandy.
I almost want to say DM Simon Cowell.
DM Simon Cowell.
Oh, like okay, so we're not no, one of us isn't
Yeah,
GMing.
we're
It's-
like organizing it, maybe recording it. They're doing it. You know, this is a
DM,
spectacle
who's the
for us.
Top Gear guy?
Definitely not. Oh my God! You want one of those toxic DMs ever?
Yeah, no, that's exactly because I feel like he would have the same position as we are, where it's like I'm just gonna fuck with these guys and turn them against each other for like hours.
No, you got Brandon saying something like, "Well, actually, grappling is how it works like this," and he'll be like, "I don't give a damn. I'm just gonna grab the motherfucker."
Shut the fuck up. Go fuck one of your wives about it. Let's see.
God, I don't.
What's his
I
fucking
don't
name?
know
Jeremy
their name.
Clarkson.
Oh,
Jeremy
yeah,
Clarkson.
yeah.
I mean, it has to be another condescending British dude. So Simon Cowell would work.
I mean, obviously,
I was gonna go
Gordon
opposite and
Ramsay
say
is sort of
Reggie
the
Watts.
obvious.
Ramsey would work. Reggie Watts would be a good player.
He could be. I think he with his how he approaches stuff with prep time. Oh, he could run. He definitely on the Sonic side of things. He'd run a tight D&D game.
I guess
he'd have all the damn voices down fucking.
I guess
crazy.
he has the demeanor to be a good GM. The question is, do we want a good GM or do we want a GM who will incite people at the table? That's my question. Because I think what would make Reggie a good player is even if there's an insightful, an inciting GM.
Well, if we're picking inciting, then
chill.
as a player, we gotta throw Alex Jones in there. That'd be the fucking best.
Just put him in there.
Yeah.
Put his ass in there.
Because then you don't even really need a DM. You just need someone that responds to whatever his first thing that comes out of his mouth is and goes,
that's true.
Okay, we'll do the opposite of that.
Or legitimately, just every conspiracy, every like paranoid thing he says is true. That's it.
That's
real.
another
But I
thing
feel
you
like
run.
that's too much.
Yeah.
I feel like we need someone like who was the Daily Wire guy who got sacked because he was like cheating on his wife or whatever?
Oh, Steven Crowder. Yeah, this is a failed comedian too. So that's a.
Oh my god! Steven Crowder is our fucking. It would because now keep in mind the chemistry's fucked. The chemistry's fucked, but that's also kind of the point.
Yeah,
I feel like okay. Well, okay. Let me just make sure we're kind of going the right way. How I'm thinking. So okay, Kevin Sorbo. We think he'd be shitty to be around, but he would take it seriously in a Vin Diesel sort of way that could be appreciated.
okay.
Yeah.
Who would we?
We have Werner Herzog, who would get really weird and abstract, but that could be good and bad.
Yeah.
We have, and really analytical. We have The Weeknd, who's really passionate, edgy, and artsy, but we're putting him, we're making sure he's in an emotional
he's playing
state.
a bard or a warlock.
Yes,
Yeah.
and we're making sure he's currently in an emotional state where any questions about his competency would make him fly off the rails. Because it's right after the Idol was just fucking trashed, and he was on Twitter all day. Brandy Sandy, because he'd be the cornerstone of the group, but also a power gamer.
Yeah.
Also, probably the only one who knows the rules.
Yep.
Probably the first one to get punched. You think it's Stav, but it'd be.
Well, that's the thing is, I think Steven Crowder would be instead of Stav, because I feel like we need a comedian. We need someone who's funny to kind of level things out. He is indeed a comedian, but he's got some ideas. And it would be really interesting to see some of those, you're like, oh yeah, you were joined by a woman fighter, and he's already like shifting uncomfortably in his seat and looking around. You're like, all right,
Oh no.
here
that's
we go.
true.
You're
right.
So
He
he's
is
gonna say
very
something.
divorced right now.
He's extremely divorced and extremely like unhinged alt-right. So just for him to like just interject with a bad take that just brings the table to a stop. You know what I mean? That's kind of also.
And then immediately after that take, just write in a whole line where a nymph starts like trying to get his attention. So it makes him even more uncomfortable, and he's like, "Oh, can I like reconnect with my wife through the medium of this game, who is a representation of water? Wait, what does that mean? Water could change into different things. Oh no! Oh shit!"
He's making jokes about the Idol.
Yeah.
He's mocking Werner Herzog's voice.
The DM is Paris Hilton.
I don't feel I gotta pull Brandy Sandy out. I don't think he's not safe here anymore.
No, he's not.
He's not safe.
But that's not the point. The point is he's the glue. He's the glue.
Yeah, see, I was suggesting
Referee is Paris Hilton.
Well, yeah, because
has no idea what she's doing.
they wouldn't respect her. Like that's
Would they?
well, yeah, because half of them are all misogynists. That's
a good point. Which half? Actually, no. I mean, in general,
yeah.
to a point.
I don't know anything about Brandon Sanderson.
Misogyny is
but I
a
know
spectrum.
Crowder and Sorbo.
That's so funny.
Most of Brandon Sanderson's characters are women. Like he fucking.
What about that chick who got fired from Jeopardy?
Who's that?
Who was on Big Bang Theory?
Oh God.
Oh God. I try to purge Big Bang Theory.
Okay, Nightmare Game. Nightmare Game. The entire cast of Big Bang Theory. The end.
I actually think it would be generally okay, because from what I understand, all of them are way less cringy than the characters they were forced to be.
The entire cast of Big Bang Theory in character.
All right. Okay. Now that's bad. But
they already did that.
Yeah, they did,
Yeah.
and it was cringy.
Yeah.
'Cause everything on that show.
Because I remember a
cringy.
day in like middle school or freshman year of high school where people just suddenly felt like they could talk about D&D, and I'm like, shut the fuck up.
shut the fuck.
What happened? Did an episode of Big Bang Theory come out? Yeah, it did. and everyone thinks they know how D&D works. Put on a special hat.
Mayim Bialik.
Who? I don't know who that
Maybe
is.
that. I mean, she's.
I recognize the face.
She's a literal neuroscientist who presented game shows, but like I guess she just sucks. I don't know.
I mean, I guess that's interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe having her on the player side would be interesting.
I don't know.
I feel like we need. But the reason why I feel like I want like a comedian. Well, okay, Stav would work here, but like I feel like Stav would also be too lazy. I feel like you need someone who's like actively trying to get attention and like trying to be like
right.
That's why I think Steven Crowder would work, because he's like, hey, look at me, hey, pay attention to me, haha, I'm funny, haha, bad
I'm
take,
relevant.
bad take. You know what I mean? And then like, I don't know.
I mean, if you just want to sabotage the game, put Bert Kreischer in, and you're good.
Yeah. Who's Let's put Bobby Lee on there.
Yeah. Oh yes, that's perfect.
Instead of Steven Crowder, put Bobby Lee on
Yeah.
there. That actually might go over really well. Who do you think Bobby Lee would get along the best with? Brandon Sanderson.
May I don't know.
Because he keeps trying to do this dumb shit, and then Brandon Sanderson is like, nope, that's in the rules. He can absolutely do that.
yeah, that'd be great. He's
All right. Yeah, okay, now that seems like a pretty good table. But is it one of us GMing, or is it someone completely different?
Yeah, is it one of us, Jimmy, or is it also a celebrity?
we got to make it a celebrity now, because that's already it's been set.
I think so. What if I go to random celebrity?
Just hit random.
Oh, it's Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, right. Oh.
I mean, yeah.
Come
Yeah,
on.
I can
It's
see
perfect. It's perfect for not good reasons, but it's perfect. He's good at being a face. He's good at holding things together. He's good at the jokes and all that. But I don't know. It doesn't seem.
It'd be a boring fucking game. That's,
Well,
that's how I feel.
You're right. But, I don't know, though. Because I feel like at this point, you literally just give them a published adventure. And because the point here is the group.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the main point.
Okay.
I mean, I almost feel this would be
Ryan
better as
Reynolds.
Burning Wheel.
Ryan Reynolds
Yeah,
just
there you
reading
go.
out. Hey, that's what it says in the adventure. This is so fucking hilarious to me.
He recites an aristocrat's joke and is like, that's what the character
That's what
says.
he says.
All right, we've assembled the most blurst D&D group.
All right, yeah, the most blurst D&D group, GM'd by Ryan Reynolds, and then the players are Kevin Sorbo, Bobby Lee, Werner Herzog, The Weeknd, post the Idol, like immediately after the Idol, and Brandon Sanderson. I would pay. No. I have another pitch for GM.
Okay.
Howard Stern.
Howard Stern.
Because Howard Stern, every year, he does like a Celebrity Squares sort of thing where he brings on just a bunch of people who should not be in the same room together just to have this exact thing is something he does annually.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So it does make me think that it's like if anyone, he's literally done this. So that he would understand the assignment.
That, or I think someone that'd be really good. But you have to go into some real research. I don't know who it is, but an actor that's continually tried to succeed in a directing role and has never gotten the real chance of Brett to do it.
Jonah Hill?
Oh my god!
Because I mean, he's directed stuff. I don't think anybody cares.
Man, I was going to say Tom Cruise, but
Tom Cruise at
Tom Cruise would just be awesome to have at the table. That's too good.
Yeah,
I think it'd be great. Honestly,
yeah.
I think it'd be fantastic.
No, I meant as a GM, but that's
as a GM, but it's too good.
yeah.
It's too for this group.
Right. It's not.
So I guess it's
enough,
Ryan Reynolds if we want him to be part of the problem, or Howard Stern if it's like he has to understand that this is why we're doing this, and he's the only one who understands why we're doing this.
yeah.
The only one in on the bit. Yeah.
He's the only one in on it, and then he'd also do the prep. He'd also probably do the prep work if he was given enough money.
Yeah, obviously,
I mean, he has the fucking
the
60 zillion Sirius XM deal. I mean, fucking, I think you'd have to offer him a lot of money to do anything because he's made to do whatever.
We've already made a hellscape of a player base. Make Monty Cook run the fucking game.
We just call this campaign is called reparations.
And he has to run 5th.
Yeah. Oh. No, he has to run. No, he has to run Pathfinder First Edition.
Oh,
because not only is that what
good.
Brandon Sanderson knows, but it's just enough of a perversion of his perfect little system.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, so that he'd continually be like, well, he'd be corrected on the rules constantly.
This is Monty Cook's punishment.
This is
Monty Cook's punishment.
This is hell.
This is the hell he deserves. You know, the people. Okay, how about this? All right, let's keep going with these hypotheticals. Who were the 3 game designers in Satan's mouth being crushed between his jaws forever? Monty Cook, Mike Merles, third. Anybody for a third one?
Ooh. I mean, was what Cynthia Williams? I don't know if she counts as that. You know,
Cynthia
well,
Williams.
I might remember the name wrong. That's
sounds really familiar.
the one who sort of acquired stuff from all the stuff from Gary Gygax. Like took over.
I
might be remembering the name wrong.
No, Cynthia Williams is the current.
Oh, is she?
Yes.
I'm fucking.
And then Lisa Williams is the Paizo CEO.
Right.
So-
Obviously not the Paizo person.
TSR.
I don't want to apologize too much to the 5th edition running person because
Let's just. What was her fucking name? It was key people. Lorraine Williams.
different Williams.
Yep.
So many
Williams. There's
fucking
3
Williams.
Williams. Yeah. There's three women with the last name Williams who have driven the course of tabletop role playing at different points in time.
Wow.
That is. I mean,
And then I'd say
unreasonable. It's still weird. Yeah.
Lorraine Williams fucked it
weird
up.
that it happened
Lisa
3 times.
Williams brought it back, and Cynthia Williams just kind of riding the wave. So it's perfect balance. It's the trifecta.
I mean, I was going to say, yeah, it's a Father, Son, Holy Spirit, but like in a Gnostic sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. TSR did see prosperity under Williams, but encountered financial trouble in the mid-1990s. I mean, from what I understand, because I was actually listening to the episode we did with Will, because he was talking about how, oh no, maybe I was talking with Will earlier when we were playing SnowRunner, but basically he apparently TSR took out giant loans at the beginning of every year and then just published books until the loan was paid off. So that's why they had a lot of weird shit in the second edition.
Wow.
But the thing is that also worked, right? Them throwing whatever at the wall and seeing what shit sticks is how we got every iconic D&D setting.
Yeah. I mean, It also obviously was shit for actual balance or game design, but like in terms of what it allowed people to experiment with and make their own, because I guess that's really what it was ended up being designed for.
The thing
Yeah,
is,
because the designers weren't allowed to play test it.
Yeah,
So.
Exactly. Yeah.
well, and the thing is, there wasn't a comprehensive design like we have today because you had to go out and buy the fucking book, and there were too many fucking books to buy. You had to buy all those books and then read them all and then synthesize how they're interacting together to realize that, there's completely overpowered options and stuff. It took years. I mean,
And that was before fucking kits happened.
Yeah.
Which made it way worse.
the Demigods book, that was relegated pretty early on as there's overpowered options in it. But that was still that was
Which
a really
Demigods book?
The Deities and Demigods.
That's a first edition book. That's a Gygax book.
No, I think because there was.
I think there was a reprinting.
Because I know they reprinted that in 3rd edition as well.
Oh, was there a second edition?
I would assume because I don't think I have the 1st edition printing on my shelf.
You might have the 3rd edition
I
printing.
think.
Maybe.
I mean, I know they made it for that.
No, I had one for 2nd edition because I used one of the classes from it. That's what had Noble kill me with no reason.
Yeah.
It's just you go to bed and you don't wake up, you're dead.
Second edition. Oh, they had so many cool artists on it. So Jeff Easley did the cover for the second edition one. Errol Otis was in there. Keith Parkinson was in there. It was expanded, completely revised, written for the second edition rules. That might be what you're thinking about. Sections on Babylonian, Finnish, Sumerian, and non-humanoid deities were wholly excised. Monster Mythology is a separate source book. Later covered the non-human deities in much greater detail than any previous source. That might be the one you're thinking about.
Definitely
that
not.
They pulled the bad shit from.
Definitely not.
Wait,
I've never heard of monster mythologists.
why did they remove the Finnish deities? What the fuck?
They removed all. I think anything that was because just like how they removed all the demons were renamed to stuff that all the demons are still called now.
Right. Yeah.
I think they removed just like if it has any like resemblance to like real persons or cultures, they just got rid of it. Except for the Aztecs, was they just named Aztec mythology. So I don't know what's up with that.
I mean, look, feathered serpents are rad. That's it.
Yeah.
And then in 4th edition, rather than a separate source book, deities and demigods is the name of a semi-regular column in Dragon and Dungeon. That's the other thing is 4th edition had such insane support through Dragon and Dungeon.
Yeah.
Like huge.
It's wild they didn't keep that going, honestly. Like that's a
it
was a treasure, yeah.
It is, I believe, because of Paizo though.
Yeah.
Because Lisa Williams was really like, hey, because she did Dragon and Dungeon for Wizards. And then she went and did Paizo, and she's like, "Hey, if you ever need need people to publish those, go through us." So I think they handled Dragon and Dungeon for a while. So then dropping the magazine altogether was probably their way of like getting out of any terms they had to let Paizo publish D&D content, basically.
Yeah, but like it still was a bad choice because like just having more that was the problem with 5th edition is there's just not stuff,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they should have, but they
D&D 5 has no games.
No games.
Unless you're looking exclusively on what DM's Guild and like fuck that.
Yeah, and third party stuff doesn't count. Like
Yeah,
because every edition of the game has a ton of third party stuff for it.
Yeah.
Like forever. So it's like, it's kind of like saying a Bethesda game is good. Because it's like, it's like, oh, it's good once you install 100 mods. And it's like, so you understand that means it's not good, right?
Right.
You understand that means that out of the box, it's not good. You need to already get thousands of hours of unpaid man labor to make it good. Like,
look, Skyrim's only good when your PC's on fire. That's what I say.
It's true. It's true.
My easy bake oven's pretty good right out of the box. Gotta put them hours in though, buddy. Gotta put them hours in.
Yeah, I'll try out your box.
What the fuck?